I'm Miss Bergsley. Tonight I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about time management and study schedules. And so actually this is a point in time that we're going to use the last slide a little bit too. So I want you guys to think about, okay, we've already written down everything that needs to happen. Your student, as a student, I know what I need to do. So we're going to use that agenda to see how much time you need to spend on each assignment. And this is going to vary daily, but you can kind of have a rough estimate of what you do each day. So you're going to actually create a timeline for how and when these assignments are going to get done. I love the phrase, a goal is just a wish without a plan. So this is really when that plan comes into place. This is really when we're going to hunker down and it's something to keep us accountable to getting that work done. So a couple tips for this is put your phone in a different room. And then also I'm going to show how I did it. And we're going to use a clock app on your iPad to create a study schedule to help remind you when that work's going to get done. You can also just do an old-fashioned pen and paper. I do that often with students, or I have a Google Doc that I share with them. And so it's the figuring out the start time, the stop time. For some of us, we might need to do this actually for the morning as well. So getting up at 7 o'clock, this is when I'll get in the shower. This is when, I'll do my makeup. This is when I'll eat breakfast. This is when I'll do X, Y, and Z. And that's really, really important for some students. Some students, it's going to be fine. My issue is getting started after classes. Some students, their issue is getting started in the morning. So it's really just going to depend on your student, and it's really good to talk to them about this. All right, so as you can see here, this is just a little example of what I did. So for example, we get done, 7th or 8th period gets complete at 12:35. So at 12:35, I put that, from 12:35 to 1:05, you're going to have lunch. All right. And that timer is going to go off again. That's a huge accountability piece that can help a student. At 1:05, that's when we can write down all of our assignments, right, for the day. What do I need to get done? And really plan out. That's when we're actually going to create the schedule that's here. 1:40 to 2:30, parents, just so you know, every day that is office hours. And so I really encourage, if your student has a D or an F in a class, they need to be going to office hours a minimum of once a week per class that they have that D or F in. I would maybe even encourage more than that, just as a check-in, to make sure that they are communicating with their teacher. What do I need to get done? And that's also a great time period of like, hey, how long do you think this assignment might take me, to kind of get an understanding of that. And so for example, here I have from 2:30 to 3:10, a student would work on math. From 3:10 to 3:45, we can work on that English. And again, this is going to vary daily. And it could depend on, because we are on a block every other day schedule, maybe you have an alarm set. You can see on there that you can have it repeat. So maybe we have alarms that repeat on Mondays and Thursdays, right? Maybe you have an alarm that is just for Tuesdays and Fridays, to really have those differences in the schedules, because they truly might change a little bit here or there. This is for the student. I know Ms. Mitchell talked about this a little bit too. I'm big on breaks, building in those breaks in the day, because telling someone, even me, you are going to work for 8 hours straight without a break, my brain starts, I'm just not as effective. So it's really important to be building in those breaks as well. Asking your student, okay, how long is history going to take today? Okay, history is going to take me about 35 minutes. So from 3:55 to 4:30, that's when I'm going to work on my history. Science today, I think about a half an hour. So I'm going to write from 4:30 to 5 today. Again, I have that 5 o'clock break in there, which is big, making sure we're building in those breaks. I hope you guys kind of understand. So it's how much time do I need for that? Okay, let's factor that in then. And I even wrote dinner in here so students kind of know what's going on. I put an elective in depending on how much time they need to spend on their elective. I do have all 6 classes in here as an example, but again, like I said earlier, you could do 3 and 3, you could do 4 and 2, just depending on how much time you need to spend on each class each day. And then finally, this is kind of the bottom part of it. At 7 o'clock, I have work on missing assignments. That is a huge part to put in there. Again, I know Ms. Mitchell kind of touched on that a little bit, but plan on when am I working on my missing assignments. Another great thing to put in here every day would be study for a half an hour. Is that studying for math or science or history or world language? It might just kind of depend on where you're at. But really make sure that you are building in all of these things into the schedule for that accountability. And I really love having it on the iPad. This is what I created it on. All of our students have that iPad. So it's a place that they have a physical reminder, right? A sound reminder of, okay, it's time to switch. Okay, it's time to work. Okay, it's time to take a break. Because sometimes we all kind of need that.